Brad Williams, Excel Prime, using text split. We have 3 examples. We're going to separate colors by comma, put that information to column 1, rows 1 through 4. Number 2, separate colors by comma, put into columns 1, 2, and 3, 4. Put those in 4 columns. The last example, separate colors by hyphen or comma, put in columns 1 through 6 in a new list. And here, you know how this works. Song and dance with Excel. Highlight anywhere within the formula bar, and we get an output. What are we doing? We're going to use text split. We use that delimiter, and we have to make sure we're incorporating this in the correct format. In the previous example, we used the column delimiter. In this example, we're using the row delimiter. We're going to take this unusual looking data in not an uncommon format. When you're downloading data from a huge database, this could be the actual layout. Your job is to separate it. Well, in the past, we'd have to write up just a nasty looking formula in order to do this. Now you can just use text split. The only decision you have to make is, well, is it a row or a column? You're gonna say, well, this looks like a column. We're putting it into rows. I know, it's a little confusing. Here, notice rows 1, 2, 3, and 4. Actually, column 1, well, it's actually column 4, but column 1 and then rows 4. That's why it says rows 1 through 4. Column 1, 1 through 4. Note the parameters here. I'm going to get into the narrative in a second. I want to show you the examples first. Our second example. Recognize this is a blueprint of our previous example. And all we're doing is putting these in 4 columns. Columns 1, 2, 3, and 4. Note columns 1 appear D, E, F, and G. Our third example. Looks like there's 3 and 4, but actually there's combined into. What are we doing here? Notice we're using a list constant. So we're going to call this an array constant. Doesn't matter to me. I like the word list. I use list. It's a list constant, which is really nice if you have multiple scenarios. Here we have spaces, we have commas. We could have, who knows? I don't know if this is an F9 or not. Nope. But if there's a space, you may want to deal with that if there's a hyphen in there or a comma. And note the output, because we do have, in this example, we're using a hyphen and we're using commas. We're going to break this thing up. Cardbird sing, yellow bike right. Cardbird sing, yellow bike right. Here's another example. We pretty much did the exact same thing. The only difference here is if you were to pull this information for row 29 and copy paste, you're going to find some spaces in here. Recognize right here, yellow, there's 2 spaces. And I suspect yellow, you can clearly see, it's observable, that there's going to be spaces. Just threw in a trim in order to clean that up, as I did in the previous tutorial. That's it. That's a quick overview. We have a little bit of a row action. We have a little column action. And then we have this list array, list constant, that we can incorporate all kinds of quirkiness. Over here, it's pretty much what I just explained. There's some stuff in here, a little sort of a warm-up, the preview of some of the stuff we're going to do. Our layout here is pretty straightforward, but we're going to incorporate throughout this tutorial every one of these arguments. In one way or another, we're going to combine them. So take a look at this. It'll give you an idea of some of the stuff we're going to do in the future here. In the meantime, practice this stuff. This is shooting from the hip design. I just put the stuff together in a flash, and there's an infinite number of combinations and tools, and you're not limited to just this stuff. You can incorporate, you can bring in the old school stuff and just compare. There'll be a few examples of, perhaps at the end of it, I'll throw in some comparisons. I don't know if I have time to do that, where we're going to use old school mid and left and right and substitute and a host of other tools that are available that preceded this text split and the other tools. Brad Williams, Excel Prime. See you soon.